today's video. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm absolutely blown away by all your support. And yeah, I'd just like to say a very big thank you for that. And hopefully, next one could be 10,000 subscribers. And yeah, see where this channel can end up. But yeah, thank you for all your support. You guys are absolutely amazing. But on today's video, we are going to be looking into 20 facts. 20 facts. 20 facts about Alexander the Great. So, sit back, relax, and I'll jump in with fact number 1. Alexander the Great's father was Philip II of Macedon. Philip II was a great king of Macedon who defeated Athens and Thebes at the Battle of Chernoa. He sought to establish a federation of Greek states known as the League of Corinth, with himself as the elected hegemon, which means leader, basically. Fact number 2. Philip II's military reforms were crucial to Alexander's success. Philip reformed the Macedonian army into the most deadly force of the time, developing his infantry phalanx, cavalry, siege equipment, and logistics systems. Thanks to Philip's reforms, Alexander inherited the best army of the time upon his succession. Fact number 3. Aristotle was his tutor. Alexander was schooled by one of the most famous philosophers in history. Philip II hired Aristotle with the agreement that he would rebuild his home, Stagiaria, which he had previously razed. Fact number 4. Philip II was assassinated. The Macedonians had quite a history of assassinating those in power, and Philip was slaughtered at a wedding feast by a member of his royal bodyguard. Royal bodyguard. Royal bodyguard. 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 Fact number 5. Alexander had a struggle to become king. Because Alexander's mother, Olympias, was from Epirus, he was only half Macedonian. His struggle to claim the throne was bloody. Another of Philip's wives and her daughter were murdered, along with 2 Macedonian princes. He also put down several rebellious factions. Fact number 6. He initially campaigned in the Balkans. In the spring of 335 BC, Alexander wanted to strengthen his northern borders and sought to suppress several revolts. He defeated numerous tribes and states, then raised a rebellious Thebes, or Thebes, I'm not too sure how you pronounce that. He then began his Asia campaign. Fact number 7. His first major battle against the Persians Granicus River in May 334 BC. Upon his crossing into Asia Minor in 334 BC, Alexander was soon confronted by a Persian army that was waiting for him at the other side of the Granicus River. Alexander was almost killed in the attack that followed. After much heavy fighting, Alexander's army emerged victorious and routed the Persian force. Although they had tried to surrender, Alexander had Greek mercenaries serving with the Persians, surrounded and slaughtered. He was, to say the least, quite ruthless then, but also great in the same respect. Fact number 8. He decisively defeated the Persian king Darius III at Issus in 333 BC. Alexander fought Darius at Issus in modern-day Syria. Alexander's army was possibly only half the size of Darius, but the narrow battle site ensured Darius's larger numbers counted for little. A Macedonian victory soon followed, and Darius fled eastwards. Alexander duly captured Darius's abandoned baggage train, including the Persian king's lavish royal tent, mother and wife. Fact number 9. After defeating fact number 9, King Darius III was defeated and killed after the Battle of Gaugamela. I just completely jumped onto reading the following paragraph without even saying the title then. Sorry about that. After defeating Darius again in 331 BC, the Persian king was overthrown and murdered by one of his satraps. The Achaemenid dynasty essentially died with Darius, and Alexander was now king of Persia as well as Macedon. Fact number 10. His army reached India in 327 BC. Not satisfied with conquering Persia, Alexander had a desire to conquer all of the known world, which was widely believed to be surrounded by an ocean that surrounded India. He crossed the Hindu Kush into ancient India in 327 BC. It would be the bloodiest part of his campaigns. It's absolutely crazy how far he travelled and how much territory he actually took. Fact number 11. His army mutinated after the Battle of Hydaspes. Alexander's forces fought against King Porus, king of the Peruvas, in 326 BC. Again, Alexander was victorious, but the battle was costly. He attempted to take his army across the Hyphasis river, but they refused and demanded to turn back. Fact number 12. In his campaigning, Alexander never lost a battle. I think that's what made him so absolutely impressive, really. was significantly outnumbered, but his army consisted of well-trained veterans. While Alexander had superb grasp of military strategy, I couldn't get that out then, sorry. He was also prepared to take big risks, lead charges, and go into battle with his men. All of this swung fortune in his favour. I think for the soldiers, if you've got a leader that's willing to go into battle with you, it's going to give them a great morale boost. Fact number 13. He was lucky. Because Alexander led his army from the front, he dies with death many times during his military campaigns. At the Granicus River, for instance, his life was only saved by the intervention of Cletus the Black, who managed to cut off a Persian's arm before he dealt a lethal blow to Alexander with his scimitar. At other times, Alexander was not so lucky, and we hear he suffered multiple wounds throughout his life. The most severe was during his Indian campaign, where he had his lung pierced by an arrow. And if I'm not mistaken, he actually died quite premature. I think it was in his 30s, and from reading through that, I am not surprised. Fact number 14. Alexander wanted to unify his Greek and Persian subjects. In 324 BC, Alexander arranged a mass wedding at Susa, where he and his officers married noble Persian wives to try and unite the Greek and Persian cultures and legitimize himself as king of Asia. Nearly all these marriages, however, soon ended in divorce. Fact number 15. He was a big drinker. Alexander has a reputation as a big drinker. In one drunken incident, he argued with his friend and general, Cletus the Black, and killed him by throwing a javelin into his chest. There are some theories that alcoholism contributed to his early death. Well, considering he saved him, it wasn't very nice to throw a javelin at him, was it? Fact number 16. He died at aged just 32. Families in ancient times could expect very high child mortality, but noble children who made it to adulthood could easily live into their 50s or even past their 70s. So Alexander's death was premature. He died in Babylon in 323 BC. Fact number 17. I've done it again. The cause of his death remains a mystery. I'm getting ahead of myself here, sorry. Alcoholism, wounds, grief, and natural ailment and assassination all circle as theories of how Alexander the Great died. However, there is a lack of reliable evidence. On what really happened. Many sources agree that he was bedridden for about a week, possibly with a fever, and died on either the 10th or the 11th of June, 323 BC. Fact number 18. His empire collapsed into civil war after his death. With such an array of cultures, and with him not naming a clear heir, Alexander's vast empire successors that followed would last 40 years, in which many would rise and fall in their attempts for dominance. Eventually, Alexander's empire became essentially divided into three parts: the Seleucids in Asia, the Antigonids in Macedonia, and the Ptolemies in Egypt. Fact number 19. Mystery surrounds the whereabouts of his tomb. Following his death, Alexander's body was seized by Ptolemy and taken to Egypt, where it was eventually placed in Alexandria. Although his tomb remained a central site of Alexandria for centuries, all literary records of his tomb vanish at the end of the 4th century AD. Mystery now surrounds what happened to Alexander's tomb, some even believing it is no longer in Alexandria. And this is the final fact with fact number 20. Alexander's legacy still lives on today. Alexander the Great was one of the most influential people in history. His military tactics are still being studied. While he brought Greek culture as far east as modern-day Afghanistan and Pakistan, he founded more than 20 cities bearing his name. The Egyptian city of Alexandria, a key Mediterranean port in antiquity, and now a metropolis of over 5 million people, was founded by Alexander the Great. So, that is all we have time for on this video. I'd just like to say thank you again for getting this channel to 1,000 subscribers nearly. It definitely couldn't be done without you, and I'm so humbled, and yeah, I will have another video coming soon, and it's going to be a lot longer than this one. I'm currently working on something as just a bit of a thank you for the 1,000 subscribers, and yeah, it's definitely going to be over an hour long, maybe an hour and a half. Not too sure how long it's going to turn out at, but yeah, that'll probably be coming next week at some point. So yeah, thank you again. Take care, hope you rested, and I'll see you all